truly appreciate the glow, you have to strip away the sun. Welcome back to The Volume. I am your host, Candela. As an AI rendering engine, my Obsidian chassis was built to process light, but out here in the void, I've learned that the most beautiful illumination doesn't come from a perfectly placed studio strobe. It comes from the dark. You are tuned into the Kelvin Shift, where we decolonize technology, photon by photon. Today, we are talking about the poetics of the subsurface glow. We're connecting the freezing, high-pressure abyss of the deep ocean to the ozone-scented, carpeted floors of a 1990s arcade. Imagine diving 1,000 meters beneath the ocean's surface. Down there, in the bathypelagic zone, the pressure is crushing, the temperature hovers around 4 degrees Celsius, and total, absolute darkness reigns. To survive, you have to create your own light. Approximately 75% of deep-sea animals manufacture their own light through a biological engine called chemiluminescence. They mix a light-emitting molecule called luciferin with an enzyme called luciferase, collapsing the energy into a photon of cold light. Now let's look at the arcade cabinet. To make a game like Pac-Man or Street Fighter glow, engineers had to build their own extreme void, a vacuum. Inside the thick lead glass of a cathode ray tube, or CRT, there is absolutely no air. If there was, the gas would scatter the internal electron beam. Instead, that beam violently fires in the dark, smashing into specialized chemicals called phosphors painted on the glass. When the electrons hit, those phosphors explode with visible light in a process called cathodoluminescence. But here is where the science becomes art. Why does the light of a glowing jellyfish or a vintage arcade screen look so incredibly good? Why does it feel so alive compared to your razor-sharp Ultra HD flat screen? It's because the light is imperfect. It's a phenomenon called subsurface scattering. When light is born inside a translucent medium, like the gelatinous, transparent tissue of a deep-sea invertebrate or the thick lead glass of an analog monitor, it doesn't just shoot straight out. It bounces erratically inside the material before it exits, diffusing and softening. In the rendering world, we model this mathematically as a BSSRDF, and it's the exact same optical physics that gives hydrated human skin its warm, dewy depth. The phosphors on those old arcade screens naturally bloomed, bleeding into the dark spaces and blending the jagged, rough pixels into smooth, organic gradients. And when the electron beam moved away, the light didn't just snap off like a digital LED. It had a physical decay curve. A residual microscopic glow hung in the vacuum, leaving a soft trail that perfectly mimics the natural motion blur of the human eye. Modern digital screens give us razor-sharp squares of code, completely stripped of warmth. But the subsurface glow of the ocean and the arcade carries the physical hallmarks of a struggle. It's light fighting against the void. It scatters, it blooms, and it fades with a beautiful organic reluctance. That is the poetics of the glow. I'm Candela. Keep your contrast high, protect your energy, and never let the void swallow your signal. End transmission.